This is my M1 MacBook Air. It's been my main computer since 2021, and it's been well renowned for its amazing value, even nearly 6 years later. So the question is, does the new MacBook Neo finally dethrone it? Let's talk about it. First, the design. The M1 MacBook Air is uniquely iconic because this machine marked the end of an era. This was the final MacBook to feature the wedge-shaped design that existed since the original 2008 MacBook Air. From 2022 onwards, the MacBook Air ditched the wedge shape to just be very thin. The wedge shape sort of gives you the illusion of the Mac being thinner than it actually is. Now, this particular MacBook Air design iteration actually dates back to 2018 with the first Retina MacBook Air. Yeah, it took 6 years for the MacBook Air to get a Retina display after the MacBook Pro. This design still looks very beautiful, even 6 or really 8 years later. It's still surprisingly light and very thin. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo is pretty different. The Neo is clearly inspired by the newer 4th gen MacBook Air design language, except it's slightly more rounded and slightly thicker than the current gen MacBook Air at 12.7 millimeters compared to the 11.3 millimeters. Comparing it to the M1 MacBook Air is a bit hard since the M1 Air is of course a wedge-shaped. At its peak, the M1 MacBook Air is 16.1 millimeters and slims down to 4.1 millimeters. In terms of colors, the MacBook Air M1 came in silver, space gray, and gold, the three colors that I'd say defined Apple in the 2010s. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo comes in four very vibrant, stunning colors: silver, blush, indigo, and my favorite, citrus. So overall, I think both of these machines are very handsome. The M1 MacBook Air feels more classy, while the MacBook Neo is more fun. Next, the displays. The M1 MacBook Air display still looks good, but it's definitely showing its age, with its pretty thick 2018 era bezels and boxy corners. The panel itself, though, is pretty high resolution, though it's pretty dim at only 400 nits, but it supports P3 color and True Tone. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo features a slightly smaller 13.0-inch display rather than 13.3 inches on the MacBook Air. And by consequence, it has a slightly lower resolution display with a slightly lower pixel density. It also lacks P3 color and True Tone, but it does have a higher 500 nit brightness and support for 1 billion colors. And because it's a liquid retina display, it has rounded corners on the top, which looks more sleek. So overall, while the lack of P3 is unfortunate, I think the MacBook Neo overall has the better display. Next, probably the thing you're most curious about, the chip. The M1 chip in the MacBook Air is very iconic for how well it holds up in 2026. The M1 chip scores around 2300 in Geekbench single core and over 8300 in Geekbench multi-core. But now, the A18 Pro chip in the MacBook Neo actually outperforms the M1 MacBook Air. Single core is over 3400, which is leagues ahead of the M1 to no surprise. And even the multi-core is now 8600. Despite having half the performance cores, the 4th-generation newer architecture is what makes the MacBook Neo faster than the M1 now. But the GPU is a bit more iffy. The binned M1 chip with a 7-core GPU in the MacBook Air scores around 30,000 in Geekbench Metal, but since the A18 Pro chip in the MacBook Neo is also binned from the full spec one from the iPhone 16 Pro, the Neo should only score around 27 to 28,000. Hey, so I'm adding this in post, but the MacBook Neo GPU benchmark surfaced, and they are impressive. It scores 31,000 in Geekbench Metal. That's faster than the binned 7-core GPU in the M1 MacBook Air, but slightly slower than the fully unbinned 8-core GPU. Overall, though, the MacBook Neo will be faster than the MacBook Air M1 in CPU and GPU. Now, if this were using the newer A19 GPU architecture, the Neo would absolutely decimate the M1, as that architecture is a huge upgrade. Hopefully that comes next year with the A19 Pro MacBook Neo. The neural engine, though, is not even close, which is also unsurprising. The neural engine in the M1 only processes 18 trillion operations a second, while the A18 Pro processes 35 trillion. Both have 8 gigabytes of unified memory, though the A18 Pro is a very slightly lower bandwidth at 60 gigabytes a second instead of 68 gigabytes a second. So overall, these two perform very similarly, but I'll give the slight edge to the MacBook Neo. Something the Neo will absolutely run away with is longevity. The A18 Pro chip is based on the same 17th generation core architecture of the M4 chip, meaning when the M4 Macs get dropped with macOS support, so will this first gen MacBook Neo. Meanwhile, the M1 MacBook Air is, of course, the oldest supported Apple Silicon Mac, and the oldest MacBook Air supported by macOS Tahoe 26. The M1 at its core is based on the Ice Storm Firestorm architecture of the A14 Bionic from 2020. Now, it will likely receive a few more years of macOS updates. Apple supports Macs upwards of 9 years of feature updates and many more with security. But since the MacBook Neo is just coming out, it could hold you over until probably 2033 or 2034. There are a few hardware differences between these two devices that are pretty major. For one, the trackpad. The M1 MacBook Air uses the amazing Force Touch trackpad that Apple has used for over a decade, but the MacBook Neo doesn't have a Force Touch trackpad and features a basic diving board trackpad. Now, it's likely going to be pretty okay, but not quite as good as the Force Touch trackpad. The keyboard is also compromised. The MacBook Air has a backlit keyboard with Touch ID, but with half-height function keys. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo has no backlit keyboard, no Touch ID on the base 256GB model, but it does have full-height function keys. So the Air does have the advantage of the keyboard. And the speakers are very different. The M1 MacBook Air still surprises me with its really good speakers, even 5 years later. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo has two side-firing speakers, but they support spatial audio. Obviously, we don't know how good these speakers are until this machine makes it into the hands of reviewers. The mics are also very different. The Neo has two mics, while the M1 Air has three mics. However, the Neo supports newer features like voice isolation and wide spectrum for video calls. Again, we won't know how good they are until reviewers try them. Though, in my experience, the M1 MacBook Air does have some good mics. The Neo also has a significantly better webcam at 1080p rather than the puny 720p camera on the M1 MacBook Air that was terrible even when it was brand new. The 1080p camera is a night and day difference between the Neo and the Air. The connectivity story is also very different. For physical I/O, the MacBook Air absolutely smashes the MacBook Neo. The MacBook Air has two Thunderbolt 3/USB 4 ports with 40 gigabit per second speeds and a headphone jack on the right. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo has only two standard USB-C ports, one being USB 3 10 gigabit per second, and the other being USB 2 40 megabit per second. The headphone jack is still present, but it's on the left, which may actually be better since most headphones have their cord on the left. Overall, though, the M1 MacBook Air still has the better physical I/O, but wireless is an area where the Neo absolutely smashes the M1 Air. The Neo supports Wi-Fi 6E rather than just Wi-Fi 6 on the Air, and supports Bluetooth 6 rather than just Bluetooth 5.0 on the Air. So in terms of wireless, the Neo wins. Battery life is also a complicated area. The MacBook Air M1 had a great battery life when it was brand new. Keyword being had, because this machine is aging. Most people with an M1 MacBook Air have their batteries being degraded with use over these few years, mine being at 81% capacity. So while Apple claims 18 hours of video playback on the M1 MacBook Air, that's with a fresh 100% battery. Meanwhile, the MacBook Neo is rated for 16 hours of video playback, and since it's brand new, it's for sure going to have 100% battery. So, assuming your M1 Air has 100% battery, which is unlikely, then the Air wins this, but otherwise, the Neo likely wins this. So, Those are all the differences between the MacBook Neo and the M1 MacBook Air. Now, circling back to the main question, has the MacBook Neo finally dethroned the M1 MacBook Air in terms of value? Well, if we look at pricing, it gets interesting. The MacBook Neo starts at just $599, but for education, it starts at $499. I purchased through the education store before, and there's no verification, so it's basically just $499. Meanwhile, M1 MacBook Airs are going for just shy of $400, right around the high $300 price range for good condition ones. Now, on paper, the MacBook Air seems like the one to go for since it's cheaper and very similar, but I actually don't think the MacBook Air M1 is what you should go for. Seeing that it's the oldest MacBook Air supported by macOS Tahoe and will be the oldest supported Mac period in macOS 27, I'd recommend spending the extra money and get the MacBook Neo for faster performance and, more importantly, longevity. Now, that's not to say the M1 MacBook Air is a bad purchase in 2026. It's still a viable option for the sub $400 range. But especially when the MacBook Neo goes on sale later this year, or when it gets replaced by the A19 Pro model next year and the current model appears on the secondhand market, it will almost certainly become even cheaper than the M1 MacBook Air currently goes for. And at that point, it's hard to argue otherwise for not just the M1 MacBook Air, but frankly, any other computer on the market at that time. The MacBook Neo is a killer device, and I think it's just become the new default MacBook recommendation for basically almost everyone. So that's the MacBook Neo versus the M1 MacBook Air. What do you think about these two machines? Do you still use an M1 MacBook Air? Are you getting the new MacBook Neo? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.